It's about that time. What's happening in your city? You got love for your city? City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. 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 Can you believe it? Doug got us on in time.
6 o'clock on the dot.
Yeah, man, he's amazing, isn't he? Him and Dan be doing yeoman's work back there, sweating up a storm. You can see the steam coming out of the production room and everything, man, trying to get everything ready for the show. But we appreciate them.
They make it happen.
They make it happen. Each and every week right here on your local Altice Access Channel 5. It's another episode of CT Views. I'm Jacque Williams, your host, with my lovely and talented co-host, the one and only Miss Coryse Coco Villarouel.
That's right.
You look extremely striking tonight. What is it?
Why, thank you.
What is it?
I'm just glowing. I just have that glow.
You just have that glow. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, she got that glow.
It's not the weather, because the weather's depressing.
The weather stinks.
The weather
stinks.
Why did I see snow this morning?
It might have been in your dreams.
No, was I the only one? Did anyone else see snow? See, there are people out there behind the cameras that said they saw snow as well.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it was snowing this morning.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
what happened to spring? What happened to spring?
It's here.
It's taking its time.
It's here though. We have to remain faithful. We have to, I'm
trying.
I know it's tough, man. In fact, really before we came on set, I'm like, I might have to wear my coat on set.
Oh, it's cold.
It's cold.
It is.
It's cold.
I did put my jacket back on today, and I charged up my little battery pack because I have a heated jacket.
Yeah.
And I thought it was time to put it away, but I charged up that battery pack, and I said, nope, you're staying out a little longer.
Well, you're kind of like prudent like that. That's kind of your style.
It is. I like to be warm.
Yeah, no, she does. She's so warm. That's why they call her Coco. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning into the show as always, and we want to give a big city shout out to our sponsors, because without their support, we would not be able to bring you the quality community programming that we're able to do each and every week. Correct?
That's right.
That's right. So we want to give a big city shout out to Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Better protection, better value. He can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at tothins@optonline.net. Also, Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Avenue, Suite number 1 in Torrington, Connecticut. Better call Mel. He can be reached at 860-307-1128 or at healthmarkets.com/local-health-ins. Or the Northwest Connecticut Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120 in Torrington, Connecticut. The Chamber is the place to be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Mark Coryse, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105 in Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com. Thank you so much to our sponsors.
And I got to say, big shout out to Steve at Toth Insurance Agency.
Uh-huh.
I had a little car accident, and so my car was in the shop getting repaired, and it's kind of hard sometimes to reach the actual insurance company. Everything is automated these days. But it was nearing a month, and finally, because I couldn't reach my adjuster, I called Steve. He's my broker, and I said, Steve, please, make it happen.
Right.
And by the end of the day,
he made it happen.
He made it happen.
Well, that's why he's Toth Insurance Agency.
Yeah, better protection, better value.
He puts his name right there on the dotted line, man. Sign right here, bam, stamp of approval.
Yeah, he was great. He was great.
That's a great testimonial, by the way. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. We got a great show lined up for you all today. We have a real cool guest on today.
Yeah, special guest. I know it's springtime. People are starting to do a lot more walking, a lot more outdoor activities. So we have a special guest to talk about safety.
And her initiative is titled Watch For Me Connecticut, or Watch For Me Connecticut. Her name is Amy Watkins, and she's going to be here with us momentarily, and she's going to explain the deets to you.
Yeah. And along with that, we have a mention of so many happenings for the month of April. Easter's approaching, so there's train rides and Easter events happening all over. And I'm going to talk a little about all those events.
That's fantastico. I like it when you talk about the events, because there's a lot going on here that people need to know about. So we're here to let them in on the 411.
That's right.
No doubt. Also, we're going to have a little interview from a person who has really just made great strides with their career ambitions. We had the opportunity to interview the Grammy Award-winning artist Nicole Zuraitis. So we're going to be checking out that interview a little later on the show, and you can see what's going on with Nicole. She's all over the place, man. In fact, I just got a hit from her. She's back in my home state of Ohio in Cincinnati.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, Cincinnati? We just came from like Poland and Australia.
And now she's in Cincinnati.
And now you're in Cincinnati? Oh my God, that's kind of a step down. But,
hey, you go where the jobs are, right?
Well,
and where people want to hear you.
True.
So.
But I mean, jazz is that genre where you have, it's almost like a special, not as like it used to be, because back in the days it was all underground. I mean, the real jazz artists.
That's right.
But I mean, now
underground in the boom boom room.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You have to go to the boom boom room.
Yeah, man. Club Zanzibar. But I think nowadays artists like Nicole are making it more appealing to people who appreciate other types of genres, but also are learning about the ever-expanding genre of jazz music. So she definitely is an ambassador to the business. And
jazz is so calming. It's when you move off of classical music, to me the next one, just to keep me calm, is jazz music. It's relaxing, it's calming, and right away you just associate, look, let me get a glass of wine, let me kick back, relax, feet up.
Or a glass of Kool-Aid, whatever.
No, I think wine. I think wine. We'll stick to the wine on that.
Your tastes are so exotic, man. Like everybody can afford wine, man. We got tariffs and everything going on nowadays. Everybody can't afford no wine.
Just get some grapes, stomp on them, and let them sit for a couple days.
Or just get you some Kool-Aid. You'll be all right. Kool-Aid and Miles.
Kool-Aid and Miles.
Yeah, you'll be just fine, I guarantee. So let's check out some stuff going on here. We got Pascal DJ, one of the associates for Culture for a Cause, and she's got some stuff she wants to talk about as far as real estate is concerned. So check out these tips from Pascal. We'll be right back.
Talking about the increase in foreclosures in today's housing market? If so, they may leave you feeling a bit uneasy about what's ahead. But remember, these clickbait titles don't always give you the full story. The truth is, if you compare the current numbers with what usually happens in the market, you'll see there's no need to worry. Let's put the headlines into perspective. The increase the media is calling attention to is misleading. That's because they're only comparing the most recent numbers to a time where foreclosures were at historic lows. And that's what's making it sound like a bigger deal than it is. In 2020 and 2021, the moratorium and forbearance program helped millions of homeowners stay in their homes, allowing them to get back on their feet during a very challenging period. And when the moratorium came to an end, there was an expected rise in foreclosures. But just because foreclosures are up, it doesn't necessarily mean that the housing market is in trouble. Instead of comparing today's numbers with the last few abnormal years, it's better to compare to long-term trends, specifically to the housing crash, since that's what people worry will happen again. Take a look at this graph. It uses foreclosure data from Atom, a property data provider, to show foreclosure activity has been consistently lower since the crash in 2008. So, while foreclosure filings are up in the latest report, it's clear this is nothing like it was back then. In fact, we're not even back at the levels we had seen in more normal years like 2019. As Rick Sharga, founder and CEO of the C.J. Patrick Company, explains, foreclosure activity is still only at about 60% of pre-pandemic levels. That's largely because buyers today are more qualified and less likely to default on their loans. Delinquency rates are still low, and most homeowners have enough equity to keep them from going into foreclosure. As Molly Bozel, principal economist at CoreLogic, says, U.S. mortgage delinquency rates remained healthy in October, with the overall delinquency rate unchanged from a year earlier and the serious delinquency rate remaining at a historic low. Borrowers in later stages of delinquencies are finding alternatives to defaulting on their home loans. The reality is, while increasing, the data shows a foreclosure crisis is not where the market is today or where it's headed. Bottom line is, even though the housing market is experiencing an unexpected rise in foreclosures, it's nowhere near the crisis levels seen when the housing bubble burst. If you have questions about what you're hearing or reading about the housing market, let's connect.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to CT Views, coming at you right here from your local Altice Access Channel 5. And we're so very fortunate tonight to have a special guest with us. I think this initiative is so unique. And it shows how when we really get our creative juices flowing, we really can make a difference in our communities. And we have here with us tonight Amy Watkins. Her initiative is entitled Watch for Me.
Watch for Me, CT.
CT. You got to put the CT on there.
It's a little rhyme we got there.
Watch.
There.
How could I miss that? Watch for me, CT.
There you go. Yeah.
Watch for me, CT.
And you give it to Jacque and he turns it into a song.
I know.
So
Can I borrow that? Can we go? Can we run with that song?
You want a jingle? Call
I
Jacque.
know.
Jingle Jacque, you know what they be saying.
Jingle Jacque.
Yeah. But this is, Coryse and I were discussing it earlier, and, you know, we're always kind of thrown when we, you know, discover and meet these people who come up with these just tremendous ideas that, you know, normally one wouldn't conceive of. But talk to us a little bit about how you came upon this initiative and what motivated you to put this plan into action.
Well, thank you again for having me. Watch for Me, CT. It's a program, an initiative to reduce the number of bicyclists and pedestrians that are killed and injured on our roadways.
And we heard those numbers are going up.
They are going up.
One just happened yesterday, I believe, in Hartford.
Yes, bicyclists yesterday, unfortunately. So far this year, we've already lost 16 people walking or biking, way more in cars. But this initiative, it's a partnership between the Connecticut Department of Transportation and Connecticut Children's Medical Center. And even though we're the Children's Hospital, it's all ages, all deaths, the whole state. And it was started in 2017 after there was a week in December 2016 where there were 9 crashes that resulted in 8 deaths in 1 week.
Wow, in 1 week?
In 1 week. And the DOT said, we have got to do something about this. We've got to put together some sort of an initiative, education campaign, community outreach to try to stem the number of deaths and injuries.
Yeah, I just, I just heard something. It was uh, concerning the Cornwall Bridge area, where they just
Oh,
started a marketing campaign about uh, taking precautionary measures because there were people that just were killed in that area recently.
mm.
But what are some of the causes why this seems to be a persistent issue?
That's a great question. There are a lot of contributing factors here. Uh, we have bigger, faster, heavier vehicles. More of our vehicle fleet is SUVs, and the
Hmm.
way that they're designed, they're more lethal by many times. Um, we have a culture that loves speed, that is a kind of sometimes a me first kind of a culture. And what we get is a lot of people driving without caring about sharing the road.
Mm.
And what we saw
And
during
you also have the introduction of cell phones.
distraction is huge,
Distraction, big time.
impairment.
Hmm.
Connecticut's a huge impairment problem. We have drug and alcohol issues, people driving under the influence. The distraction is not only your phone, it's your car's entertainment system. There's a
Oh,
lot of
true.
buttons. There's a lot of things that you have to look at that you can't tell by feel anymore. We got rid
Mm,
of, knobs and buttons, and it's just a screen, which
mm,
requires you to look. You can also get busy eating, talking, putting on makeup, reaching for things. I mean, we get so comfortable driving that we forget that we're behind this ton vehicle that is basically like a traveling weapon. And we get comfortable walking and biking that we forget that other people aren't always looking for us. So
mhm.
because these are activities we do every single day, we get so comfortable that we let our guard down, and that's when some things can happen.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, it was a couple days ago, and I was coming around a curve. It was right after dark, not totally dark, but there was someone crossing the street
Mhm.
who, by the grace of God, just I don't know. I was just going at a slow enough pace
Mm,
where, you know, but I didn't see them until the very last
yes.
second. They weren't wearing
Yeah.
anything illuminating or, so these things can truly be accidents.
Yeah.
Um, but can you talk about, is there a shared responsibility involved in this
There,
scenario?
there, there is to an extent. It's still against the law to run out in front of traffic, and what we like to tell people outside of cars is that they have a responsibility to they shouldn't leave their safety in anyone's hands. I might have the right of way, but if you're coming in a car and you don't see me, then I could be right, but I could be dead. And
Oof.
so, but we want to put the onus really on the driver. So what struck me about your story is you said I was going at a slow pace, and that's what made the difference. People are not perfect and they make mistakes. By you driving at a speed where you could see the road and you were paying attention and you had reaction time,
Mhm.
that you could account for that person's mistake. And so you did not end a life that day because of the choices that you made. So we could say, oh, that pedestrian was in the wrong. But in the end, there were so many things that went right because of the decisions that you made as a driver.
I don't think it was because of the decision necessary that I made. I think it's because my car is so old that it couldn't go any
Hey,
faster
anyway, we can
that
get the
you
good
know what I'm
results. We'll
saying? I
take them.
mean, I got people behind me on beeping on them, passing me and everything, but
Lately I find myself being that I know there's a term for it, but where you drive for you and you're driving for everyone else on the road as
Yes.
well. And I've found that I've taken those measures even more, especially since I've had kids. But I'm not just driving for me, but even though my light might be green, I wait a second, I look
yeah.
before I
Smart.
go
Very
because
smart.
you can sit there and be like, but my light was green, they're in the wrong. But what,
Yeah, you don't want to end up on Judge Judy.
Right.
right?
And people are running lights.
Right.
They're running
Yeah,
stop
people
signs
are
these
Yeah,
running
days.
lights. Oh, it
yeah,
was
I do.
yellow. I'm still going.
I do the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
I wait a minute. And if everyone drove with that attitude of I'm driving for myself and everyone else, I think we'd have way fewer deaths on our roads.
Yeah.
That's where I was taught to drive, though. I remember my uncle telling me, he goes, always drive defensively
Mhm.
because even though you may be right, it doesn't prevent the accident from happening.
Right.
So it's not about being right, it's about driving safe to arrive at
Yeah.
your destination. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
but when it comes to those fatalities happening, with walkers and bikers, you know, when you named how many deaths, have occurred by that, that's just devastating. How can, it doesn't seem quite fair.
Each one of those lives is somebody.
Yeah,
It's somebody's loved one, no
yeah.
matter who they are. And it has a ripple effect, from the first responders who have to arrive
Right.
at that scene to the immediate family and friends, but coworkers, community members, colleagues, students, everybody that person affects, and it just radiates out the pain of that
Oh,
loss.
terribly.
It's we've come to meet a lot of people dealing with this loss, and you realize really how catastrophic it really is, and what seems like an inconsequential decision to us behind the wheel can lead to something that is so terrible for a family.
Now, how can you, or do you see any uh, opportunities to broaden your message, or is it just narrow to this particular type of roadside hazard?
It's actually quite broad, but we started out with basically a focus on saving bicyclist and pedestrian lives. It's grown to all people, whether
Hmm.
you're in a car, you're out of car. And it's also grown to supporting walking and biking. The more people that are walking and biking, the more people out there doing that, the safer it is for the people who are out there doing that. So we promote trail use. We promote safe bicycling and access to bicycling and bike lanes and other infrastructure. We promote walking. It's good for your health. It's good for your psyche. It's good for the environment. We partner and promote active transportation, public transportation, using our great bus services, train services, just eliminating some of those carbon emissions. So it really kind of fans out to all of the ways that people walk and move and drive in their communities, and trying to make that the safest and healthiest that it can be.
Well, I think that lends itself to those aspects of community development where you want to encourage that type of activity, because that's one thing that people are talking about in terms of urban lifestyles, and getting back to something that's just a little more basic and down to earth, and I think you have community co-ops and things of that nature where people are actually wanting to get out and walk more and get a little more in touch with their communities on a more organic level. So,
So important.
yeah.
It's so important. And we have gotten away from that as an American society.
Hmm.
And we need that. We need that connection with our neighbors and our community. We need to access third places, the coffee shop, the library, the places where you go and you see and meet other people. And the more people you meet and are exposed to, the less you feel like you're on an island of yourself. And the more you can see that there are all these walks of lives and all of these different ways of being are equally valuable. And it just creates such a lovely community when we can be out there together.
So now I just kind of want to make a reference to something that I saw on Facebook in Trinidad. There are hiking trails, lots of hiking trails, and there's this one hiking trail that every mile marker there's a billboard with a QR code, and it tunes people into a different genre of music every mile marker.
Well, that is
So
really
it keeps
neat.
them interested in walking, right? And it keeps them interested in getting to the next mile marker to see, let's see what genre is the next mile marker. Tell me, like, what is what is your program, like what are the different ways that your program are trying to just push this initiative?
Well, we haven't thought of anything that creative yet. That's amazing. Yeah.
Coryse is pretty creative.
Yeah, yeah.
She takes it to the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
love
always
that.
looking for like new ideas. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Feel free to use it.
We will. Yeah, yeah. So I'm on the board of the Farmington Valley Trails Council, and they do a lot of activities trying to get people to come out to our amazing trails that we have in Connecticut. We not only the canal trail that goes from New Haven all the way to Northampton. We have so many trails across the state, and you can find them on Connecticut Trail Finder. Look them up. And Trails Day is in June, the first weekend of June, and you can do the Sky's the Limit challenge through DEP. So there's a lot of different things that can engage people, kind of gamify being out in the outdoors and actually taking part in an active lifestyle. So there's different things that you can find that engage people on that kind of more fun level to get them to do it.
I think that my only fear, which I've seen on one of the trails, I walk on the trail, the Winston-Torrington trail on Winston Road, and we were just getting ready to walk, and I figured my little one was like, I'm hungry, and Rusty General was right there. I'm like, let's go in Rusty General, grab a bite, put him back in the stroller. The minute we got in Rusty General, turned around, there's a big, huge bear.
Ooh.
So my only fear is,
Ooh.
I would have to say bears more than any other animal would be the bears, because I've heard of them being on the trails and people stumbling into them.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about the bears in Connecticut is they're not very aggressive. We don't have grizzlies and other things. They mostly don't want anything to do with us. They mostly just want to mind their own business. And
they just want your trash.
They'll go on. Yeah, they'll go on their own way. So at the kiosks along some of the trails, there's some what to do when you see a bear.
Okay.
I also on my keys I have a whistle. So loud noises and things. There's some little strategies you can use, but mostly they don't want anything to do with you. They just want to go find some trash, find some dandelions. They don't want you.
Find some seeds.
Yep, they don't want you. So you just stay calm and stay away, and you should be fine.
All you got to do when you see a bear is say, "Hey, Yogi."
Yeah, but then he's going to want to have a picnic with you. You can't call him. He's going to come on and hang out.
Yeah, listen, I had Memorial Day weekend, one Memorial Day, sorry to segue, but I had a barbecue in my backyard before I fenced in the backyard. There's a empty field bordering my backyard. And Mama Bear and 3 cubs they wanted to join the barbecue.
Oh, gosh.
And she did not care that there were 25 people.
Party's over.
In the backyard. She smelled that barbecue and kept trying to come further and further in.
Oh, goodness.
Finally, I said, okay, everyone inside. And then I said, wait, grab the food, though, and then let's go inside. Because if we left the food out,
she would have had
she would have been there for the next, who knows, hour, 2 hours.
Yep.
And then that would have probably prompted be an open invitation to be like, I remember there's a house I went to.
They make a mean barbecue at that house. She's going to get her friends.
Hey, Yogi. Want some barbecue?
Oh, goodness. But yeah.
Follow me.
We eventually threw some watermelon into the woods, and she kind of went that way towards the watermelon. And then we eventually fenced in the yard. Not that did anything, because this year she already hopped the fence. So.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Crafty.
Crafty bears, yeah.
Crafty bears.
Yeah. But yeah, I think your initiative is absolutely amazing. Trails, I love trails. I love learning about more and other trails. What is the website that if someone wants to find out more, the different trails to go on?
It's called Connecticut Trail Finder.
Okay.
So that's not something our organization does. It's something that a different organization does in the state. But I was just on it the other day. You can really get some cool ideas for places to go. So Connecticut Trail Finder will show you all the places that you can hike and degrees of difficulty and all kinds of great stuff.
And your organization, there's a website, and
Yes.
what can they find out on your website?
So watchformect.org has a website with lots of statistics, data, some resources, some great downloadable resources, shareable things. You can basically get all you need to know, facts about safe driving, safe walking, and bicycling. We also have a Facebook page, Watch For Me CT, a YouTube page and Instagram, so you can connect with us, share the things that you find interesting, engage, share your story. We're always looking to talk with people who've had, maybe a scary encounter on the roads. And we're always willing to help people get engaged who want to do something about the issue.
You mind hanging out for a little bit here with us on the
Absolutely.
show?
Sure.
Because, I think we can, talk a little more,
Absolutely.
All right. So let's take this opportunity here to show some love for our sponsors, our big city shout outs. Going to Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Better protection, better value. They can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at Toth, INS, at optonline.net. Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Avenue, Suite number 1, Torrington, Connecticut. You better call Mel. He can be reached at 860-307-1128 or at healthmarkets.com/local-health-INS. The Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120 in Torrington, Connecticut. The Chamber is the place to be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105, Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com. And our guest with us on the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is Amy Watkins.
He keeps wanting to call you Kim.
Hey, that works. Whatever does the job.
She knows it's Amy. What you want to do? She's got a great initiative called Watch for me, CT. We're going to make a little jingle out of that. Watch for me, CT. Nonetheless, it's a great initiative, making the public aware about the courtesies that we need to probably observe when driving at late night or in crowded places or in less traveled places.
Right.
We need to be aware that people are out walking, running, whatever the case may be. Kids are playing, yes.
Running behind balls.
Yes, and it's probably a cultural change that we need to definitely adhere to when thinking about and dealing with this issue.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, do you have decals or stickers or anything that people can just place on their car or anywhere else?
Great idea too. I love that.
Right there on their forehead.
Yeah.
Watch for me.
We've just launched where towns can take part in a pace car pledge. So if you're in a community and you want to be a car that promises to go the speed limit and obey the traffic laws, you can get a decal. So we're trying to roll that out. It's still new. But I love the idea of having something that people who actually care about this can put on their car that says, I care about sharing the road. I care about watching for other folks on the road.
That's really cool.
I'm going to hire you. You've got all these great ideas. You need a job because these ideas are great.
I love things.
I need a commission, or
I know.
You can't take it from me like that.
These are really fantastic ideas.
She's got value.
Good ideas.
Speaking of value, Coryse, what's going on? You got anything shaking down in the community coming up here? What's happening?
Yeah, so like I said, April is a busy month, and there's so much going on. So let's see. Wednesday, April 16th, Mad River Arts Festival is happening.
Okay.
And that's going to take place, I believe, at Northwestern Community College in Founders Hall. I believe it starts at 5 p.m. There's going to be visual artists, poets as well. So it's going to, and it's free to the public, free to anyone who wants to attend. So that's going to be a great event. And then, well, let's back it up a bit to April 12th, which is this Saturday.
Yeah. Oh my
already,
gosh,
I can't believe it. Like April is flying by already, just like that. So this Saturday at Sunset Meadows, there is an Easter activity for adults. An adult Easter egg hunt. I'm hoping that those Easter eggs have
some cash inside.
Cash, but I was thinking of like maybe nips. Sorry, nips.
Oh man, I think I need to exclude
all three, like
that's
nips,
like
cash.
What kind of Easter egg hunt y'all be on?
It's the best one.
The best one. It's at a vineyard. I mean, it only fits in, right? So yeah, or even like maybe free tastings, like a little, pass a ticket to a free tasting at their vineyard. You never know. So that's this Saturday, April 12th I believe that starts at 11 p.m.
You mean a.m.?
11 a.m. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's a late night Easter egg hunt.
You deserve it too. You always corrected me. I'm glad she corrected you for it.
Well, I don't want people showing up at night.
Yeah.
Watching where the eggs are.
11 a.m.
Thanks, Amy.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's the revenge I've always wanted to have, man.
The PM in my mind was coming in with, you know what? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so don't bother with the fact that it's 11 a.m. You can go
still
drink.
Have some drinks.
And then we have April 17th at Kids Place. There's an egg extravaganza going on there from 4 to 7.
Extravaganza.
Yes, play on words there.
My
Extravaganza going on. And also, just to keep everyone aware that the Thomaston train rides that they do right out of the Thomaston train yard, the Easter Bunny train rides are happening all this month.
Okay.
So there's time to go on that train ride, enjoy the Easter Bunny. I believe it stops at the Easter Patch, so it stops at a little area where you get to go and find Easter eggs and take pictures through, with different things there. It's a fun train ride. And I believe next week we might show that segment that we did down there last year.
I don't want to go nowhere with Easter with y'all two, man, because y'all be like making a scene, man. Be scrambling eggs and everything.
I mean, can you imagine an adult Easter egg hunt?
I think that sounds amazing.
Right?
That sounds great to me.
I think that's absolutely fun. When was the last time? Because it's either you're taking the kids or the last time you were a kid. Yeah. And you're like, it just gives you that feeling of being a kid again, but on an adult level.
Okay, yeah.
You're selling me on this Easter egg hunt that's happening.
Yes, at Sunset Meadows.
All right.
Right in Goshen.
All right. We are going to be featuring in this next segment an artist who is just rising in popularity literally all over the world. And she hails right here from the northwest corner of Connecticut. And we're so proud of her. We had the opportunity to interview her, and we thought that it would be a great idea to share that moment with you that we had with Grammy Award-winning artist Nicole Zuraitis. So you guys stay tuned, check this out. We'll be right back with more CT Views with Amy Watkins, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all waited for. It has arrived. The Queen is here. And without further ado, I'm going to have a deep conversation interview with the Grammy Award-winning Nicole Zuraitis. I can't even tell you how proud of you I am.
Thank you so much. You've known me a long time, so you know the struggle.
No, but I remember talking about, this actually happening, like the work that you were putting in at that particular time, performing with, the Torrington Symphony Orchestra and, all that just coming together, culminating in this awesome moment that we're experiencing with you. And, you got on the train and went for a ride, and you took us along with you. We so appreciate it.
It was a long ride.
Long train ride.
Lots of zigzags. went on a little bypass. Went a couple different routes.
But please share with us, Nicole, what it's been like. This has to be, as humble as you are, this has to be somewhat of a life-changing experience.
Oh, absolutely. It's a mostly validating experience because there's not a lot of validation when you're an independent artist. Most of the time, you're kind of used to the word no being your middle name. Mm-hmm. When you get used to this moment of people saying, good job, you're like, talking to me? But it's been really special because I did it.
Yeah.
Without a label.
Yeah.
Without a machine.
Ooh. Stop it, girl.
I wrote it.
Stop it.
I arranged it.
Stop it.
I produced it.
You sure did.
I paid for it.
You showed. Oh, stop.
With the help of some people, but I raised the funds for it.
Right.
Toured it.
Yeah.
You know, managed myself
Yeah.
for many, many years, and now I can say, okay, great. Won a Grammy. What's next? What's next? Let's level up.
Right. And we're hoping that you know, we can get down to support you in your gigs in the city.
Yeah.
Because you know what we're doing here in the Northwest Corner in terms of, you know, highlighting the arts and showcasing those artists that are really contributing to creating this environment
Right.
that hopefully will be welcoming to new artists, and they can share in the endeavors that we're partaking in. But you represent so well, and we've talked about how much being an ambassador to the business is. You know, not only, you know, living, breathing the business, but actually being that presence. And you're such a student of the game. Share with us and talk to us, you know, a little bit about those principles that you stand on each and every day so that you can be the best artist you can be.
Well, I always say that it's kindness first, and I know that may sound crunchy.
No, not at all.
But most of the connections I've ever had that have moved me to the next level in my career has been through someone that I've met, and it's not often the people you think. They always say don't meet your heroes, because the heroes are going to look through you. It's the people that are working around the heroes that have helped me. It's the, you know, people say, oh, you have to be just as nice to the president as to the janitor. I'm going, I prefer the janitor. You know, the janitor knows how to work and how to work for what they need. And so my only advice that I tend to live or hold myself to the standard of is just like be kind to people, so that the web that you make is very strong, from the bottom to the top.
You know, and one thing that I admire about you, not only as an artist but as a humanitarian, is your allegiance to the black artists that have made jazz a prominent art form in our culture. And you hold no bones about it. You know, you're very upfront about it. You talk about how those artists have motivated and influenced you. I think it's one of those aspects of artistry that we just cannot disconnect ourselves off from the rest of the world.
Totally.
Talk to us a little bit about how that forms your worldview and how your worldview forms your music.
Well, you know, it's been an important moment for me to remember and to make sure that I keep sharing that Black American music is the reason why jazz exists. It's the reason why rock and roll exists. It's the reason why so much music exists. And as someone who knows the root of jazz, how could you not give it credit where credit is due? And also my favorite artists of all time, they span centuries. You know, I'm a former opera singer too, so I definitely lived in the classical world as well. Yeah. But the bottom line for me is that good music is good music. And speaking the truth and being respectful to tradition and also for where things come from is also very important to me.
Well, I hear the band getting ready to strike it up over there.
I got distracted because I got nervous. I was like, oh crap, I gotta go on stage.
You can't start without her, okay? So we'll release them when we done.
I'm like, I think that was my cue. I'm like,
we only got a minute left with her, all right? You can have the rest of the day. But
I know, I gotta go. Cool. Thank you.
Nicole, thank you so much.
Great to see you.
And
thanks for what you do for the arts.
Anytime. Nicole Zuraitis, she's going to get off and get ready to set up for the second half of the show, and we'll send you excerpts of it, okay? So you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much for all the crew out there at CT Views. Keep it going. We got you covered. And wasn't that interesting? Nicole Zuraitis killing it on the world stage. She's everywhere, man. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like around the world in 80 minutes with her, man. I literally one day she's in one country, the next day she's in another country, the next day she's doing 2 shows in New York. I'm like, wow, man, you must be racking up some frequent flyer miles, man. But we, what I like seeing people earn success who are good people. When we met, I had the opportunity to interview her before she found this level of success. She was always a successful artist, but this type of recognition is something special. But even back then when we used to talk about it, it was never about being famous or being
No.
rich.
Anyone about their art form that they truly care about their art form and what they do, it's never really about success. It's just about staying true to you.
Yep.
And continuing in that art form.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being the best that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Not selling out. Mm-hmm. Staying true to your art form. Working with a standard level of artists that enhance your performance, that make you better, that push you. And her husband, Dan Pugic, who's a renowned drummer in jazz circles, their marriage seems to bring out the best in them both. He still has his jazz ensemble that he plays with, but then they still have what they do together. So it's a great way for them to take that musical journey hand in hand and create a lot of joy and happiness with the audiences that they perform for. But it's a real pleasure to see someone. She comes from, her parents are great. I met her father when he worked for the city of Torrington in the zoning building department, I believe that was. But it's just a real good feeling when you can capture those moments before they had that level of success and recognition, and to know that they're still that same person, and the little jokes and whatnot that you had before are still relevant, and they're not too big for them anymore. So we definitely wish all the success, continued success to Nicole Zuraitis. But I can't tell you, Amy, how really, really cool this thing is here that you're doing. And I think that we want to definitely have you back on the show so you can give us an update on how things are going with the initiative. And hopefully we can drive down those numbers.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring those numbers down so more people get home to their loved ones. Mm-hmm. And thank you for having me. I do appreciate the chance to talk about this and get it out to more communities.
Well, this is what we're all about, because there's so many cool things going on. It's like, and Coryse will tell you, she's like, okay, Jacque, I know you think you know what's happening, but I'm the one that knows what's happening, okay? So, they staff works really hard to making sure that we're staying in touch with the community and highlighting and showcasing those people, places, and events that are really doing outstanding work. So we tip our hat to you.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm happy to be a part of it.
And speaking of being a part of it, we want to give some big city shout outs to the businesses in the hood making it happen. You know what I'm saying? We want to give some love to Don's Getaway, located at 24 Winstead Road in Torrington, Connecticut. Christie's Restaurant, located at 545 Winstead Road in Torrington, Connecticut. Health Insurance Services, located at 438 Main Street in Torrington, Connecticut. Wall and Fruenhofer, located at 117 Main Street in Torrington, Connecticut. Did I say that right? 117?
117.
117? 1117? 117?
Okay, yes.
You see these gray hairs, man? When I started this show, I didn't have none, okay? But as the years have gone on, you see what it does to you. It just is what it is. Soul Latina Cafe, located 31 Hungerford Street in Torrington, Connecticut. Jimmy's Store, located at 1238 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. 5 Points Art Center, located 855 University Drive in Torrington, Connecticut. And George's Music at 905 New Harrington Road in Torrington. And lastly, to our sponsors who we just love, and we want to always let them know how much we appreciate them, because without them, there would be no us. So we want to give a big city shout out to Toth Insurance Agency, located 1151 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Better protection, better value. He can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at tothins@optonline.net and ask for that bundle plan.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, he got Coryse all bundled up. Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Avenue, Suite number 1 in Torrington, Connecticut. You better call Mel.
Better call Mel.
He can be reached at 860-307-1128 or at healthmarkets.com/health-ins. Also, the Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120 in Torrington, Connecticut. The Chamber is the place to be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. And last, but certainly not least, Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105 in Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com. Thank you much. So, it's been one of them shows, man. We learned something today.
Mm-hmm.
We hopefully have
imparted some of that knowledge onto the audience.
Absolutely,
too, so.
And hopefully we've gained a friend and someone who we'll have back again, and who our audience can reach out to and get more information on this real cool initiative that's taking place.
Yep. Walk with me, CT.
Watch for me.
Watch
CT.
for me, CT.
You know,
now I just took.
Everybody does it. It's okay. We thought we had a great little rhyme going there, but it's very easy.
Watch for me.
Watch for me. Yeah, we're watching for each other on the road.
That's
we're
right.
watching out for each other.
Watch for me, CT.
Yeah.
Well, that's important. And like you stated earlier, with the lifestyle changes that are taking place, people wanting to interact in their communities and engage in their communities, become more organic, which includes getting out, having more of these opportunities to have one-on-one conversations with people in public places, where you have that community neighborhood connectiveness, where, you know, and let's be honest, cars are convenient until they ain't convenient.
Isn't that the truth?
You know? So, you know, when you have that community where, you know, and Torrington used to be that kind of community back in the day, because people used to work at the factories, and after they got out of work, you know, they would walk to their local pub, you know, where they, and, you know, have their little, you know, haymaker before they called it a night. But people in Torrington used to, with the neighborhood, you know, places that they had, was very popular for that.
Yeah.
So it's now even more important, you know. And you ain't got to be driving 120 miles an hour around anyway.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Right, and I think now as well, like a lot of bigger cities have introduced where you can rent a bike and drive it to the next location, or a scooter. Yep. So now you have these other modes that's entering the roadways as well. It's even more important and more vital that you do watch for these other modes of transportation. So
and e-bikes are becoming a thing, and more people can go farther, and you know, because the motor enables them when they maybe wouldn't be able to ride that distance on their own. So we're going to see more people out, and that's a good thing. You know, get that exercise, get that fresh air, connect with your community. You know, get that exercise for your body. It's just there's so many benefits.
A lot of great benefits. You know, my son, he takes the bus home from school, and the bus drops him off at Taco Bell. Now, Where I live in relation to Taco Bell, he can walk home, but I'm so afraid of him just crossing Torrington Street
Yeah.
that, because again, Torrington Street is a straightaway. People just
I know.
they
drive
fly.
fast. They drive
And
fast.
that's one of the
so,
things
yeah.
we are working to address currently, because we want kids to be able to walk to school, and they used to do that,
Yeah.
walk and bike to school.
I walk 5 miles to school every day.
I
both
would
ways,
walk
right?
500 miles to get that.
But you're right. Parents are afraid,
Yeah.
and with good reason, because cars are going too fast, and roads are wide, and cars are big, and everyone's in a rush, and you don't want your precious baby to be crossing that street. But that's sad, because they should be able to get to school, if it's just a mile or less, and be able to walk and bike. So we want to try to get back to that wherever we can.
It's got to be interesting too, taking that message and welding a campaign out of that people can relate to and identify with. And I see the relevance in that, especially when it comes to urban renewal and urban development, because everyone's trying to simplify their lives. But when you have these rural areas, I think that's where the message really needs to start to resonate most, because let's be honest, some of these roads aren't lit very well.
Yeah.
And you're going from one house to someone else's house, and you might have had a couple, Kool-Aid, yeah, and you're coming around, how those turns are, like Marshall Lake Hill Road, that little turn there, and somebody could be coming
dark
up
roads,
And most pedestrian deaths occur after dark, in the dark.
I'll tell you what, your initiative, get together some stickers, and I will gladly pass them out.
Oh, I will do that. And I'm going to keep calling you whenever I need a good idea for something.
I can see the sticker now. It'd be Coryse's face with a big light right in the middle of
right.
it.
Yeah, I love to promote, being outside and walking, and I want my kids to be able to ride their bikes up and down the neighborhood, or
Safely,
safely,
without worrying that they won't come home, for sure.
She's kind of obsessed with it, though. She takes her outside activities to a whole nother realm.
That's wonderful. It's great for everything. It benefits everything. Yeah.
You should see what she be doing.
It's in the winter. Winter does not.
I know,
outside
right?
Does not, not even with the heated jacket. No.
Well. It's coming to be about that time.
Yeah.
And who we got coming up next week? We got to get in it.
Let's see. So next week, I believe we have Puddletown, the owner of Puddletown, Rob, and I visited Puddletown, a great entertainment place to take your kids. It's like dodgeball meets
hockey meets archery,
all in one, and they're like, kids are just going to have a blast.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So the owner of Puddletown, which is in New Hartford. And we may also have the owner of Between Rounds, which is a bagel place, but that's more in the Hartford area. But there's like 5 different locations, and we visited all 5. We have a commercial that I did for them. So we're going to show that again. We're going to show that next week, and hopefully he can come in next week as well. So
all I know is that if Coryse walks in here with 100 bagels like she did last night at our meeting, I'm going to like beef.
I did. He was generous and gave us a lot of bagels.
I hope he comes with bagels.
I never seen that many bagels before in my life.
And believe it or not, his bagels are sold in Big Y's.
They are.
Yeah, all Big Y's.
I bet you they'd be asking, why you got these big bagels?
Why not?
Why not? I love that.
She's like on.
She's quick. Yeah. She's quick with it too.
She been radicalized. Coryse done got her. So, ladies and gentlemen, Doug says it's about time to wind it up.
Wrap it up.
Carol Burnett used to say, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Folks, thank you for joining us. Facebook Land, thank you for joining us.
We'll see you back next week right here for more CT Views. Bye-bye. CT Views.